Hello everyone, the biggest asshole in the Assassin's Creed community here today, and welcome back to another video. So today, it's going to be like a nice chill commentary on my thoughts on E3 2016 so far. Now as you all know, for the past few days, I'm going to say the exact amount of days, but I don't actually remember. For the past few days, E3 has been live, and there's been many different press conferences showing many different games, and showing gameplay and trailer from games that we've seen previously. It started off with the EA press conference, I'm pretty sure, and the latest big important one was the Sony press conference. And I just want to share my opinions on E3 this year and how I think it's played out so far. So as a whole this year, E3 hasn't actually been as good as previous years in my opinion. I don't know what it is. It's just like it doesn't feel as if many amazing games are coming out, even though there are. It's a really odd thing. As you all know, E3 started with the EA press conference. Now, this showed, I'm pretty sure, Battlefield 1 and Mass Effect Andromeda, and it also showed that Star Wars game. I don't know what it's called, but it's made by EA Star Wars game. So like 7 seconds of footage from it, and all those games look really fucking cool. They're all great. That like Battlefield 1, I'm definitely very hyped for. Mass Effect Andromeda, haven't played many of the other Mass Effects. I've played Mass Effect 3, but that also looks like a good game, but I'd prefer to play the other ones before getting into that. And then that Star Wars game, it looks really cool. Even though it's just a 7-second trailer, from those 7 seconds, it seems to look really, really cool, but obviously don't have an opinion on the game as a whole. So, all those games, E3 press conference. And then they showed Titanfall 2. Now, Titanfall 2... the first Titanfall didn't awfully jump out an awful lot to me. The beta was really fun, but then when I got the actual game, it wasn't as good as I originally thought the game was going to be, much like The Division. So, Titanfall 2 I'm not awfully hyped for. Like, it's got pretty graphics and that. It's got a single player, but the multiplayer just didn't stand out an awful lot to me. It just seems like very, very similar to the first one. Which I've got bad memories of personally. Now I know a lot of the people enjoyed it, and it's an incredibly underrated game. People say it's garbage when it isn't really. But Titanfall 2, the only thing I'm looking forward to that really is a single player, because that'll be quite cool. The multiplayer doesn't seem an awful lot different to Titanfall 1, but we'll have to see how it plays out. And you know, I'll get it and see if it's any good, or if there's a beta, I'll jump on the beta and see if that's any good. Then obviously you've got the random sports games that EA do, as in Madden, NFL, and FIFA 17. Now, the FIFA 17 story mode did jump out to me, but I'm probably not going to get the game just because it's FIFA and I don't terribly enjoy it myself. But yeah, that's the EA press conference. It was pretty good, you know. It was one of the better ones, surprisingly, because that's very odd, because EA don't tend to have a incredibly amazing press conference compared to the rest of them. But this year, they have had quite a damn good press conference. And then after the EA press conference, it goes on to the Bethesda one. Now, Bethesda usually have an incredibly great press conference. You can hear my dog bark. What is he doing? What the... Shut up! But yeah, Bethesda usually have an incredibly good press conference, and this year it wasn't as good. I was kind of hoping for some Elder Scrolls 6 information, because obviously Skyrim was released in 2011 and it's 2016, so it's been about 5 years. And there was nothing. There was no Elder Scrolls. There was Elder Scrolls, but there was no Elder Scrolls 6. There was just Skyrim Special Edition and just Fallout 4 DLC and the Elder Scrolls card game. And there was obviously some of that Dishonored 2 stuff in there, which I'm very hyped for. And also, don't get me wrong, the Skyrim Special Edition on Xbox One and PS4, and obviously on PC as well, it's pretty cool. I find that it's cool because it's coming out on console for like console players that don't have a good PC, so they can do the modding and they can have a pretty game right off the bat, you know, straight away. So I'm happy for people that don't have a good PC that can actually now start modding Skyrim on console. But I'm not personally excited for this Skyrim remaster. I'm pretty hyped for Dishonored 2 because I enjoyed Dishonored 1. I don't think I finished it, but I did enjoy the game whilst I was playing it. I should have to finish that at some point. But Dishonored 2 is obviously a cool thing. Then they had Doom DLC and a random Quake game that nobody really cares about. So yeah, the Bethesda press conference isn't as good as they usually are, but I know that Todd Howard has said that they are working on an Elder Scrolls 6 already, and then I guess they just didn't want to show it at E3 this year. But I know there is one coming, obviously, and I will be hyped when that is announced at some point, maybe at E3 next year, or, you know, just at some point next year. So the Bethesda press conference wasn't as good as I hoped it would be. So after the Bethesda press conference, they showed the Microsoft press conference. Now, they showed a bunch of games at the Microsoft press conference, like Gears of War 4, more Battlefield 1, Forza Horizon 3, Final Fantasy 15, We Happy Few, which looks really, really fucking cool. I'm incredibly excited for that. Dead Rising 4, Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2, and Halo Wars 2. Now, those are like the ones that stand out to me. Well, maybe not so much Halo Wars 2, but definitely Final Fantasy 15, We Happy Few, Battlefield 1, Forza Horizon 3, and Gears of War 4, kind of. Because I played Gears of War back in the day, you know. I used to play a bit of Gears of War. I didn't delve directly into it. I didn't fly into it like a fucking plane. But I played a little bit of it, and it was fun. So I'm excited to see what Gears of War 4 looks like. But I'm very happy that they announced a lot of games and showed off a lot of games at the Microsoft press conference, because we really needed some games, considering the EA and Bethesda press conference didn't show an awful lot apart from like Titanfall 2, Mass Effect Andromeda, Battlefield 1, and the Skyrim remaster and Dishonored 2 and stuff like that. So I'm really happy that in the Microsoft press conference they showed off a lot of games. So after the Microsoft press conference, there was the Ubisoft press conference, which was great. It was fucking shit. It was terrible. So basically, they opened the conference with Just Dance 2017, which I have no interest in at all. And then they followed that up with Ghost Recon's Wildlands, which in my opinion could be another overhyped game, to be fair, because there's been a downgrade, I think. I'm pretty sure from the gameplay, there's been some sort of downgrade from like the original trailers, which really pisses me off that Ubisoft do that with everything. Yeah, the gameplay didn't awfully stand out to me that much. It looked kind of like The Division. I understand because it's running on the same engine, but it just looked like The Division in like a more open world, and the gameplay just didn't look very fun. I don't know what it was. It just didn't look very fun at all. It looked a bit odd, but we'll have to see, you know, in the future what happens. Then they showed South Park. As you all know, I fucking hate South Park. I think it's shit. I think the Stick of Truth was an absolutely piece of shit game, and I think I just hate it so much. They just run off comedy that isn't considered funny anymore by me personally. But if you're looking forward to the South Park game, then that's fine. I'm not going to judge you for it. But personally, I think South Park is incredibly unfunny. They showed Eagle Flight, which was downgraded as well from when they originally showed it, which is really odd. How could they downgrade like a VR game? It didn't even look that good to begin with, but they've managed to downgrade it in some way. For Honor. Now that really brought the conference back for me, kind of, because that game looks really fun and the graphics are beautiful, which is a plus. So For Honor looked pretty damn good, and it brought it back to life, in my opinion. Trials of the Blood Dragon, which is now available, I think, on fucking PC, Xbox One, and PS4, which was pretty cool. It's like an extra little thing. And then they showed Grow Up. Now, Grow Up it just looks like a standard indie game, really. I wasn't too interested in it personally, but you know, it was quite a pretty game, you know, and it's nice. Who am I kidding? It didn't look that good at all, but you know, I can't have much of an opinion on it because yet again, I haven't looked up on it an awful lot. So if you're excited for Grow Up, that's fucking fine. That is great. Enjoy that. After that, Watch Dogs 2, which was probably the best thing at the Ubisoft press conference, just because it's their main game that they're now focusing on, and it's what I'm kind of focusing on with the Ubisoft content. And it's the main thing I'm excited for, like from Ubisoft, because it's like the only established series that they're kind of bringing out this year. Finally, Ubisoft showed Steep, which I almost didn't mention because I don't want to count it as a fucking game. It was like the biggest piece of shit I think I've ever seen. Like the graphics were beautiful, like it looked like a beautiful game, but the concept of the actual game is shit. If you know what it is, it's an open world snow sports game, which is such an odd thing. Like I don't understand why they thought it was a great idea to make this game. It's so fucking odd. Like, I don't understand what were going through the Ubisoft developers' mind when they were like, hey, how about make a fucking open world snowboarding game? Like, what the fuck? The concept of that sounds like a game that would have been originally out for like the PS2 or something. I just don't understand it. Like, I do not understand it. There's so many other things they could have done instead of making Steep, but they decided to do that. I mean, I'm not going to lie, though. The game is pretty. It's got good graphics, and the snow physics are very good. But other than that, the game doesn't appeal to me at all, and I think it was a waste of Ubisoft's time making that game, because not yet have I heard of one person excited for Steep at all. Like, not one person. So, after the failure, in my opinion, that was the Ubisoft press conference, we needed something to bring it all back to life. We needed something. We needed something to bring the whole of E3 back. And we got it. We got it. It was the Sony press conference. Sony has easily had the best press conference out of anyone this year at E3. The games they've shown look fucking amazing, as in games that we already knew were coming out and games that they announced at E3. The majority of them I'm incredibly excited for, which is also a shame because the majority of them are PlayStation exclusives, and I've only got an Xbox One, and James has the PS4, and I'm not taking it out of his room because he'll probably fucking kill me. But the games that were announced at the PlayStation press conference, if you didn't already know: God of War, Days Gone, Horizon Zero Dawn, Resident Evil 7, Battlefront VR X-Wing Mission, Batman Arkham for the VR, Final Fantasy VR, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, Crash Bandicoot Remastered for all the people that are interested in that, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, Death Stranding, and Spider-Man PS4. A lot of these games were fucking so cool, especially the Spider-Man for PS4. It hasn't even got a name yet. It's just called #Spider-Man PS4, which is obviously the hashtag for it. But that game looks so fucking cool. Like, the majority of the games at the Sony press conference were just amazing. Like, Resident Evil 7, in my opinion, doesn't look that good because it doesn't feel like Resident Evil. It feels like Silent Hill or PT, which was going to be Silent Hills, but it feels a lot like PT, and that's not really the Resident Evil feel. Like, the only Resident Evil game I played was 5, but I know, like, the games prior to 5 were a lot different to how Resident Evil 7's going to be. Like, Resident Evil 7's going to be, like, a fucking, like, not a survival horror game. They're, like, taking away the survival horror aspects and just making it 100% horror or some shit like that, which I think it was a bad idea to go that way, to be fair. Like, I really like the comedy and just the feel of the other Resident Evil games. Like, as I said, Resident Evil 5 is the only one I played, but it was a pretty good game, and I enjoyed playing it when it was out. So, I don't know about Resident Evil 7. It doesn't seem awfully great to me, and it seems like another horror clone. But for the most part, on the Sony press conference, most of the games they showed were absolutely fucking amazing, and they just blew the rest of the press conferences out of the water, really. Sony have done a great job this year, and yeah, Sony's been the best press conference, which is fucking great. And the only thing I'm upset about is because a lot of them are going to be exclusives, which really upsets me, because a lot of them are cool. I'm pretty sure Days Gone is an exclusive, Horizon Zero Dawn's an exclusive, Spider-Man's an exclusive. I think Death Stranding might be an exclusive as well. Which, yeah, it really upsets me greatly that these games are going to be PS4 exclusives. But I guess I'll have to invest in a PS4. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video on my overview of E3. It's been a weird one this year. It's been a very weird one. I've been more excited in the past for different games and stuff that are coming out, but the Sony press conference really did bring it back as a whole. It hasn't been the best E3 ever. Like, it's been okay, but that doesn't mean it's been a bad one at all. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like the video. Also, comment in the comment section below your opinions on E3 this year. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember to subscribe to the biggest arsehole in the Assassin's Creed community for more videos on Assassin's Creed and just general videos like this. And yeah, I'll see you guys next video.